2010 was an amazing time for video games. God of War 3 finally dropped after T.C. Carson's perfect voice teased us for what felt like a century, and Bioshock got a follow-up that would cement the two as one of the greats. When we cried out with a "Yee," Red Dead Redemption deafened us with a resounding Heavy Rain, Vegas, Mafia 2. I could go on forever. It was in this steep competition that buried a particular little title that had in it a lofty scope for storytelling and characters that I would argue rivaled even the best of the aforementioned games, if not surpassed them.
Vice, you dumbass! Start making sense, you rotten book, or you're gonna be sorry. Maybe I'll rip your pages out one by one, or maybe I'll put you in the goddamn furnace. How can someone with such a big smart brain get hypnotized like a little bitch, huh? Oh, Shadow Lord, I love you, Shadow Lord. Come over here and give Vice a big sloppy kiss, Shadow Lord. Now pull your head out of your goddamn ass and start fucking helping us!
Released on April 22nd, 2010 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. This gritty, dark, and very mature action RPG told us the story of a father desperately looking for a way to cure his daughter of a disease known as the Black Scrawl. Some of you who might be familiar with the remake that I'll be covering in this video as well, NieR Replicant version 1.22474487139, might notice that the young white-haired lad looks a little different. And by different, I mean older. And by different, I actually mean ugly.
Are you talking about me?
Okay, so get this. There were actually two versions that were released. NieR Replicant was the Japanese-only version and essentially the original vision that maintained a younger protagonist. What we got in the US was NieR Gestalt. It is the exact same game, only localized and sporting an older protagonist. So why in the fuck would they spend the extra time and money to do that exactly? Because we're big America with like big fucking muscles! Okay, to be fair, Hideo Kojima caught some flack when he replaced Chisel-ass Snake with Pretty Boy Raiden, so yeah. Thankfully, this didn't have too much bearing on the story outside of flipping the Sugoi Oni-chan protecting his kawaii Imoto angle to Unga Bunga Daddy banging rocks together for the sake of the one sperm that survived long enough to digivolve into his daughter. What it didn't do was save its ass from mixed reviews. Damning it from the get-go did not sell very well, and while I'm about to go real hard in telling you why it's my favorite game of all time, I'm also going to explain to you why Gestalt is a 7 out of 10. Yes, my favorite game is an above-average package. I can relate. Okay. Ignoring how really cool the characters look design-wise, Papa NieR maybe less so, but I love them regardless, the graphics are, frankly, kind of ass. Even when it first released, you take a look at any other game that came out that year, and NieR looks damn near primitive. Hell, they were so embarrassed about Papa NieR that they blurred character models when you pulled in the camera too close. Something that's not enabled even in the OG Replicant version. The textures are pretty awful, muddy. There's a location where the bloom is so bad that it blinds the entire screen for almost half a fucking second. So NieR is an action-oriented RPG with a bevy of different weapons to obtain, including 3 total weapon types to change your moves up. It's enough variety to let anyone find what they're comfortable with, and all 3 are viable regardless if you like lighter or heavier weapons. Too bad combat is broken. Really broken. Spamming the attack button will already get you out of almost every encounter, and the hitboxes for certain attacks will win the fight for you. I mean, the spear, look at the fucking spear. It's not like they didn't try though, I don't want you thinking that. They added some little flourishes like this cool slide maneuver when you get hurt and this wall kick thingy when you hit the dodge roll button while near a wall. You even got a parry, a finisher, and most jarring of all, elements. This edition baffles me the most. Weapons have different element types, and you can hold down the attack button at any point in a combo to perform them. You never have a reason to utilize this. To make matters worse, you can just block every move in the game without any consequence. Like 90% of them. What does elevate combat are these really awesome magic attacks you get, and while these are fun to use, it trivializes an already comically easy game even more. The idea for these attacks are all neat, but Dark Lance and Dark Hand are the answers to any and all situations. The map's also itty bitty. You have, 8-ish locations to travel around, and they're all close together. Aside from one particular area, you see just about every location in the first 5 hours of the game if you're not doing many of the side quests. To recap, we established that combat in this action RPG leaves a lot to be desired despite the variation it offers. The graphics are worse than games that came out 2 years before it, and the map you roll around in doesn't give you much to, roll around in. So then, what exactly does NieR offer?
I don't want you to hate me because of this disease.
It's not fair. She's so young. Her whole life is ahead of her.
Why does it have to be Yona? Why not me? Of all people, why my only daughter?
You have been lonely for so long. So much pain, so much despair. Why go on living anymore, Kylie?
But there's a reason I'm alive. That my arm is alive. And there's a reason for your eyes, too.
Kaine, I promise I'll never give up. But you can't give up either.
I'm a text of the darkest, most arcane type, and I could be of great assistance to you.
It offers a level of expertise in storytelling, characters, and music so absolutely profound that I haven't found a game that has gripped me nearly as much since. Unless you want to count NieR Automata, but everything that people praised that game for was lifted straight from NieR Gestalt or Replicant. I'll be dedicating Automata to its own video, so I won't be covering it here, but please play that one too. It's almost tied with NieR Gestalt / Replicant as my favorite game. You understand NieR as a person and can really empathize with him, regardless if you're playing as the Bubba or the Papa. The cast does not slouch either, and it's honestly so hard to pick a favorite character. Foul-mouthed Kaine, best boy Emil, and dusty old Weiss are all irreplaceable to have around. Even some of the supporting characters have more personality in them than the protagonists in other games. And both dubs are stellar, but I'm partial to the English dub thanks to the amount of personality they brought to their respective roles. They make you love a book, a literal book. You already heard Laura Bailey killing it in that intro. We're all about Kaine supremacy in this video.
I'm gonna pull out your teeth and cram them up your ass!
Oh my god, the fucking music. I wholeheartedly, no exaggeration, think NieR's OST is the best soundtrack ever made. If you put one track from NieR, one, in any other game, it would be the best song on that game's soundtrack. Except it's all in this one package, right here. You wanna cry? Emil's theme, boom. Do you need to throw down? Dark Colossus destroys all. Wanna feel like it's sunny as fuck? Pills for anyone. Shadow Lord. Just listen, please. I have one religion, and it is Keiichi Okabe. They utilize the fact that it's a game to the fullest in the wackiest ways. Just as you think you figured this game out, it'll turn the camera above you and all of a sudden you're in a shoot 'em up. Or a horror game complete with Resident Evil fixed camera angles. There's even a part that's designed to look more like a Diablo game with these corridors. Text adventure. Psych, now it's a platformer. Shut up, puzzle game. No, you slow down. There are so many spoiler things I want to brag about, but NieR is at its best when you're experiencing the story with a blind eye. All I will say is that NieR redefined what New Game Plus can do. Repeatedly. NieR is a mongoloid of a title that is so rich with ideas that it damn near bursts at the seams with it, but its execution as a complete action RPG package falls a little flat. Yet its story, characters, and music are so outrageously masterful that it elevates it above other games. And after finding success with NieR Automata in 2017 that finally gave Yoko Taro and his team the praise they all deserved, with a huge help from Platinum Games that made it even possible in the first place, the crazy bastards decided to remake NieR Replicant to bring it a fresh coat of paint. This is not just a visual touch-up though, it is so much more. Combat received a complete overhaul, and bringing it much closer to the level of Automata, which had you damn near at Devil May Cry levels of combo shenanigans. Gone now are those worthless element attacks, and instead placed a focus on being able to utilize your sealed verses within your combos. Table hopper ass evasive maneuvers, gap closers, and making you overall faster in both movement and attack speed suddenly made combat a fun addition rather than just something that had you go through the motions. New bosses, a reorchestrated soundtrack, the original cast coming back to redo all of their lines, and adding a hidden ending that was cut in the original release with a completely different spin for fans easily bumps it up to a 9 out of 10. Yes, there are still some imperfections here. The word system used to sort of customize NieR is just as tedious as ever, and the game isn't any more difficult, and the side missions remain mostly unchanged. Still your usual fetch quests. Everything that made the original Replicant Gestalt so special was maintained in addition to these updates, and they hit just as hard today as they did back in 2010 when it was just a small little project. A project whose roots go back even further than what I've covered here. NieR is very special. It's not often a strange passion project gets another chance, and I think it serves as an example to not judge a book by its cover. Unless it shoots magic. It sounds like Liam O'Brien.
This is why I hate dealing with people.